सक्सेस है और सभी इसको सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं।
इसको लोगों ने पॉजिटिवली लिया, पॉलिटिकली नहीं लिया।
ऑड इवन एक स्टेप है, हमारे को बहुत सारे स्टेप्स लेने पड़ेंगे ताकि ये पोल्यूशन एक्चुअल में कम हो।
मेट्रो तो बहुत अच्छी है, 150 रुपए खर्च होते थे, अब 10 रुपए में काम चल गया और इनकन्वीनियंट भी नहीं है। कारपूलिंग की तो कारपूलिंग की भी आदत पड़ गई, तो सब लोगों से निवेदन है, अच्छी आदतें पड़ी हैं, इन आदतों को छोड़िएगा मत।
Good evening, welcome to a very special episode of The Buck Stops Here. I'm Vishnu Shom and our big focus tonight, the culmination of the odd even scheme in Delhi. A scheme that's encouraged alternate day car use in an effort to cut down on air pollution. The jury is still out on whether there has been a dramatic drop in air pollution as a result of the scheme, but what is clear is this: the odd even scheme brought out the best of the city and its people. Who would have thought that there would be overwhelming compliance for a scheme in a city notorious for looking the other way and not caring? The fact is this: air pollution is a killer. Delhi is the world's most polluted city, and people know that. Delhiites want change, and they accepted hardships to make odd even a huge success in its implementation. On the show tonight, we reflect on the overwhelming response of this program, with children who are out on the roads encouraging people to not break the law. They're here in our studio audience tonight. Also, college students who participated in this. Also, the key players behind the program. Gopal Rai, the Delhi Transport Minister, joins us. The Traffic Police Chief, Dr Mukesh Chandar. Environmentalists and lawyers, including Harish Salve, who took this to the courts. And citizens who make a key point. Has pollution really gone down? That's the question they ask. But the question we ask tonight is this: the odd even success? Will Delhiites now think about following it voluntarily?
काफ़ी भी ट्रैफिक भी ख़त्म हुआ है, पोल्यूशन भी ख़त्म है। जो आ रहे हैं हमें थैंक बता के जा रहे हैं।
आने वाले टाइम में अगर हम बाइक पे भी करें तो बेनिफिट है इसके लिए, क्योंकि वो इसलिए भी है कि पोल्यूशन कम हो जाएगा काफ़ी हद तक।
लोग कहते हैं जी देखो अमेरिका वाले कितने अच्छे हैं, सिंगापुर वाले कितने अच्छे हैं, वहां जाओ तो कोई सड़क पे कुछ नहीं फेंकता। इस ऑड इवन ने ये साबित कर दिया कि भारत के लोग भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। कल से हालांकि 2000 रुपए का फाइन केवल खत्म हो रहा है, लेकिन आप ऑड इवन लागू रखिए, वॉलंटरीली लागू रखिए।
A buoyant Delhi Chief Minister thankful for the support received. Phase 1 of the ambitious odd and even anti-pollution scheme has concluded, but did it have the desired result in making the air we breathe any cleaner?
For the first time, the middle class is accepting that it is part of the problem and it is part of the solution as well.
And not just the experts. While the young minds expressed their gratitude and chipped in with suggestions, opposers turned supporters, and all for a good cause.
You can change the closing and opening timings of the 5 industrial areas around Delhi, and also apart from the diesel type 3 petrol that we're using right now, can't we use the diesel type 4, which is more efficient?
Even one-time member, now turned Aam Aadmi Party critic Shazia Ilmi had words of praise.
As a woman driver, I've rediscovered the joy of driving. Any good initiative, any good measure, people will come out in support. Even if they have to go through a sacrifice, a personal sacrifice.
Following Delhi's example, authorities in Mumbai and Bengaluru are wondering if they should follow suit. The Bombay High Court has sought the state government's view on adopting the odd and even formula in Mumbai. But while the jury is still out on a reduction in pollution levels in Delhi during the 2-week pilot project, one thing is clear. Less congestion meant fewer traffic jams and fewer cars spewing toxic emissions in the air with engines running while stalled at red lights. And according to a report by the Central Road Research of India, traffic congestion has reduced by 35%, while people have saved 15 minutes in travelling time during the odd and even scheme. Governments can only do so much. We need to understand that for ourselves and for our future generations, we must make some changes, endure some hardships if need be, because unless we make some sacrifices, we will make this city a very unlivable place for our future generations. With camera person Tom Joseph, Snigdha Basu, NDTV.
Well, let's go across now to our panel, and let me start with the man really behind all of this as far as the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi is concerned, Gopal Rai. Gopalji, be honest. When you were told by the Chief Minister you have to do odd even, did you think you would be successful? Did you think the scheme would work?
नहीं, ये चुनौती भरा कार्य तो था, लेकिन दिल्ली वालों के सामने जिस तरह से प्रदूषण का संकट था, मुझे इस बात का भरोसा था कि दिल्ली वाले इसमें सहयोग करेंगे और दिल्ली वालों ने किया भी। आज 15 दिन गुजरे हैं और जिस तरह से दिल्ली वालों ने पूरे दिल से इस अभियान में साथ दिया है, मैं पूरी सरकार की तरफ से उनको सलाम करना चाहता हूं।
And you would agree, Gopalji, that compliance was extremely high. This people in Delhi were not following odd even to avoid paying 2,000 rupees. They were doing it because they felt they had to do it for the sake of the air.
नहीं, निश्चित रूप से, क्योंकि देखिए अगर केवल भय होता तो बहुत सारी चीजों में भय है, लेकिन ये भय से केवल काम नहीं हो सकता था। इतना बड़ा काम जिसके बारे में पूरी दुनिया कहती है कि दिल्ली वाले कोई नियम फॉलो नहीं करते, कानून तो बहुत सारे पहले से भी हैं, लेकिन हमने दिल से देखा। आप अगर गौर करें तो हमने इस अभियान में सभी जजों को एक जमसन दे रखा था, लेकिन हिंदुस्तान के चीफ जस्टिस ऑफ इंडिया अगर वॉलंटरली रिजेक्ट करते हैं अपने जो सुविधा है और वो कहते हैं कि मैं कार पूलिंग करूंगा, अगर दिल्ली की महिलाएं जिनको हमने दे रखा था एक जमसन, लेकिन वो आगे आकर के कहती हैं कि मैं ऑड इवन को फॉलो करूंगा, तो ये इस बात का संकेत है कि दिल्ली का माइंडसेट बदला है, दिल्ली की सोच बदली है, दिल्ली की सेंसिटिविटी बदली है और दिल्ली एक नेक इरादे से एक बेहतर काम के लिए साथ खड़ा हुआ।
And Gopalji, one more question before I go across to my other panelists, the role of volunteers. And I'm asking you this because here with us today in our studios, and we wish you'd actually been here, we've got college students, we've got students from various schools, many of whom actually stood by the roadside and actually told people, please don't break the law. But I can also tell you there were not that many people they had to say this to because people were by and large compliant. But my question is this. What is your message to those who actually helped, citizens, children who actually helped to make this work?
देखिए, जो ये दिल्ली में आज ये माइंडसेट बदला है, इसमें बच्चों का, ये जो वॉलंटियर्स थे, जो स्टूडेंट्स थे, इनका एक मेजर रोल है, क्योंकि जिन लोगों को अपनी ड्यूटी जानी होती है, अपने बिजनेस के लिए जाना होता है, उनको इनकन्वीनियंट फील हुआ, लेकिन इन बच्चों ने, वॉलंटियर्स ने, जो छोटे छोटे बच्चे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हैं, उन्होंने जो अपनी बात रखी और खास तौर से जो पूरे दिल्ली में इस अभियान में गांधीगिरी हुई है, जिन लोगों ने वायलेशन किया उनको गुलाब के फूल दिए गए, उनसे रिक्वेस्ट किया गया। आप यकीन मानिए लोगों के दिल को बदलने में इसने बहुत ही कारगर तरीके से सहयोग किया है और मैं तहे दिल से इन सब लोगों का भी थैंक यू करना चाहता हूं, धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं।
Let me ask you, ma'am, as a teacher who was out with your students on the road, how did people react to you when you actually got your students? Or would one of you like to tell us how did people react? How did people react when you stopped their cars and said, look, you've broken the law? How did people react?
On the very first day, actually 1st of January when we went, we were there at NSP. And what we found was that many of them, they were following. There was one person who actually came on the even car even number car. And when he saw us, we gave him a flower. Our students, Manya was there, Ishika, she was there. We gave him a flower, and after that, he really felt very sorry for the mistake that he had done.
He felt embarrassed.
He really felt embarrassed. He went back home, and then he came on a two-wheeler, and then he told that I'll definitely follow. And after that, we had gone twice and thrice, and we found that everyone was following it. And those who did not, they really felt embarrassed when we pointed it out.
Anybody else would like to talk about their experience? You know, as you stop people, would anybody like to say something? Yes, ma'am, we'll just pass the mic over here to this. What's your name?
My name is Arushi.
And which school are you?
Grand International, Rohini.
Okay. And what was your experience?
My experience was that people really felt it, saw us, the children, telling about themselves only, that please for our sake stop doing that. Please reduce the air pollution.
Okay.
They really followed us. They felt embarrassed that just small children, they are telling us to follow, and we should follow that.
Was anybody rude when, did any of you encounter anybody who was slightly rude? Would you like to say something? Yeah, we'll pass the mic to you.
Well, looking at the response to this, everybody was so understanding, and it was not like they were like arguing upon this. Everybody's response was amazing, and everybody understood that this is for a very noble and a very good cause. So definitely the response is amazing.
Did any of you expect it to be so easy? Or did you actually think it was going to be much tougher? Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so definitely in the starting, I believe that
What's your name first?
Alright,
Sorry,
Prateek here, studying in modern school, Barakhamba Road. Alright, so in the beginning, definitely I felt that this would be very difficult to actually implement, because as we know that many drivers, many of them had difficulty understanding what actually the law is, the odd even thing is. Like for example, my personal driver didn't actually know that on which day which car has to be applied. So I definitely thought that yes, it would be very difficult to implement, but eventually the people of Delhi were actually could actually help everyone implement the same, and yes, it was definitely a success.
Okay, excellent. Isn't that fantastic? I mean, and I just a show of hands for all of you over here for for being such wonderful volunteers. It's been cold, not as cold as other winters. Maybe Anumita can talk to us about that later on. But it's been fantastic that all of you were out in the mornings, in the afternoons, sometimes in the early evenings as well, getting people to follow the rules and encouraging people, and to see this public response. What more does one say? And I think we also need to thank the Delhi police. The fact is that there were thousands of Delhi traffic policemen and police women out there. As the big boss of the traffic police, what were some of the biggest challenges that you anticipated, and how did it actually work out for you?
When the scheme was being formulated, we had mentioned that there must be some deterrent fine because of when Commonwealth Games were being held. Same Section 115 Motor Vehicle Act was invoked, and the same 2,000 fine penalty was there. And we felt
was that fine amount your suggestion, that it needs to be 2,000 to discourage? I'm just trying to understand the process.
Section 115 has got maximum penalty of 2,000 rupees for such kind of violations. Same was invoked during Commonwealth Games lanes, and same was also requested. Otherwise, we have seen that the impact may not be so high, the compliance level might have gone down. So it was agreed, and in the beginning it was really looking like a big challenge, but when we saw the compliance on the road, it was a very happy sign that
and what were your policemen and police women being told if they stopped someone? Because while you were of course in giving fines whenever it was required, you were, when the occasion arose, also being lenient. For example, if there were people who were ill, who said that they were unwell, you took their word for it. So it was maintaining the law as also being progressive in how you actually dealt with this situation.
You're right. Whatever medical contingency was explained, we trusted them, and I would say that not many people would have misused this exemption also. So by and large, the compliance was there, and in the beginning we had to be very heavy as far as the prosecution is concerned, but later on there was no need for that. And
so the numbers actually dipped in terms of the number of prosecutions?
Yes, in the beginning, when the 2 days were the holidays and the first Monday, it was being proposed as a big challenge, and that really happened so because we concentrated on borders. More than 1,000 challans were done on that day. Immediately after that, there was very nice compliance.
Okay. Gopalji, the fact is that in the recent past, we've seen so many problems between the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi and the Delhi police. But on this instance, for once we've seen both of you work so well together. Isn't that really what people of Delhi deserve? A police force and a state government that work together to make schemes for the public effective?
निश्चित रूप से देखिए, कुल मिलाकर के केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार के बीच में जिस तरह से दिक्कतें हैं और जिस तरह से परेशानियां हैं, उसको लेकर के पुलिस भी बीच में इफेक्ट होती है। लेकिन ये एक बहुत बड़ा काम था। इसमें पुलिस के लोग हों या विपक्ष की पार्टियों के लोग हों, केंद्र सरकार और राज्य सरकार के, जो भी दिल्ली में रहता है, उन सब लोगों के सांसों पर संकट है। शुरू में कुछ हम लोगों के गैप जरूर थे, लेकिन हम लोगों ने लगातार डायलॉग किया, आपस में बात किया और पूरी जो मुहिम है उसमें ट्रैफिक पुलिस ने मिल करके काम किया है और शायद इतने कोऑपरेशन के बगैर इसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना मुश्किल था। और इसीलिए आपके चैनल के माध्यम से भी मैं ट्रैफिक पुलिस के कमिश्नर को भी बधाई देना चाहता हूं, दिल्ली पुलिस कमिश्नर को भी बधाई देना चाहता हूं और सारे पुलिस के और ट्रैफिक पुलिस के जवानों को 17 तारीख को 3 बजे छत्रसाल स्टेडियम में इनवाइट भी करना चाहता हूं कि वो जरूर आए और हम मिल करके जो ये साझा अभियान है, जो सबके सहमति से, सारे मीडिया के सहयोग से सफल हुआ है, इसको जरूर हम एक साथ मनाएंगे भी और आगे के लिए संकल्प भी लेंगे।
Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General of India, wonderful to have you on this program, sir. You've lived in Delhi for many years. A lot of us are so critical about the quote-unquote culture of the city, of looking the other way, of not really caring. Did you actually expect compliance to this extent, of the spirit of acceptance? One has not seen this for a very long time.
You're right. I think that's a very heartening feature. You see, Vishnu, one thing is undeniable. Delhi is very polluted. Correct? Some measures have to be taken. Now, the AAP party took this initiative. There's nothing malafide about it. It's not perfect, but it's a step in the right direction. And what I find heartening is people themselves realize that we have to cooperate to make this successful. And what I found most heartening is the volunteers, the young people who themselves helped in enforcing this. Because ultimately the success of any scheme or any measure will depend on the willing cooperation of the people, and that will depend upon their being convinced that this is a step in the right direction. And I think this is something which of course it's inconvenience, but we have to bear the inconvenience. We have to solve a larger problem. Maybe in the light of experience we have gained after working of this, there may be certain things which require rectification. I'm sure that will be done. But I won't condemn the thing. I think it's a step in the right direction and we should all cooperate, never mind the personal inconvenience.
All right. Well, one of the big impacts on all of this was the reduced congestion on the streets of the national capital. Nobody is very certain at this stage about the extent to which overall pollution has actually gone down. What we do feel is that overall pollution could have been much higher. But what everybody seems to agree on is congestion has gone down dramatically. Let's take a look at this story.
मेरे को मयूर विहार से मेहरोली जाने में 1.5 घंटा लगता था, 1.5 पौने 2 घंटे लगते थे।
अभी कितना टाइम लगता है?
अभी लगते हैं 50 मिनट, मॉर्निंग में 50 मिनट लगते हैं,
2 घंटे करीब महारानी बाग तक लग जाते थे, 1.5 घंटा। अब 20 मिनट में करीब पहुंच जाते हैं।
जब ये ऑड इवन रूल नहीं था तो मुझे 1.5 घंटा लग जाता था।
अभी कितना लगता है?
अब मुझे 45 मिनट्स लग जाते हैं, तो मैं इस रूल से बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हूँ।
Commuters otherwise troubled by Delhi's infamous traffic snarls reveling at the perceptibly lighter traffic because of the odd even rule. According to a study conducted by the Central Road Research Institute, traffic in the city went down by 35% from the 1st of January to the 15th of January, and average travel time reduced by 15 minutes.
लेकिन जो सबसे ज्यादा लोगों को इसका महत्व नजर आया वो था कि सड़कों के ऊपर कंजेशन कम हो गया, सड़कें खाली हो गई दिल्ली की। जहां लोग 1 घंटे में पहले पहुंचा करते थे वो आधे घंटे में पहुंचने लग गए, जहां लोग 2 घंटे में पहुंचते थे 1 घंटे में पहुंचने लग गए। ये सबसे ज्यादा लोगों को बेनिफिट नजर आया कि दिल्ली की सड़कें खाली हो गई।
The reduced traffic has even made life better for some like Shaunak Morris, who now saves 30 minutes on her way to college.
I can eat my breakfast early in the morning. I would have to skip it before, but now I get the time to eat my breakfast.
The highlight of this 15-day odd even rule has been the fact that it's given an otherwise congested city free roads and smooth traffic. The odd even initiative that Delhiites have followed conscientiously has certainly saved commuters many hours. In New Delhi with camera person Rakesh Singh, Ishatrata Lahiri for NDTV.
Well, I think it's important now that we turn our attention to the impact of odd even from a pollution standpoint. Has it really worked out in the manner in which perhaps we had all hoped? Shivam Vij, a journalist and blogger, has been writing extensively about this, and he raises some key critical questions on whether this has actually worked out in the way it should have. I'm sure you agree that it's been a great success in terms of public participation. But in terms of the scheme itself and pollution, what are your concerns?
Well, pollution hasn't gone down. The aim and objective of this scheme was to reduce pollution, and that has not gone down. Therefore, it's a failure. I don't understand why we are saying that traffic congestion reduce. It's great. Obviously, if you take some cars off the road, congestion will reduce. What's the rocket science there? But if this scheme has succeeded in reducing pollution, please make it permanent. Why end it after 15 days? There are different conflicting studies. Some say pollution has declined marginally, some say it's actually increased, some say it's the same. Some talk about the weather. You know, when the weather is better and the pollution comes down, they give credit to odd even. When the weather is bad and the pollution goes up, they say, oh, it's not because of odd even, it's the weather. Now, forget the data. Just we all have noses. Have we felt actually the pollution has gone down? I felt maybe something wrong with my nose, and I asked a cross section of people. 2 days ago, I was in Hyderabad and I could feel the difference, and it's not as Hyderabad is not polluted. Feel the difference from Delhi. So pollution has not gone down, but we've been fed so much propaganda that pollution is going down, and very smartly the main achievement of this scheme has been shifted from pollution to road congestion, which was never the objective.
Okay, lots of points over there. Anumita, would you like to respond to that?
I would like to add the point that this scheme has helped us to shave off the peak. Keep in mind the fact that the first week of January, and we have looked at the data, the peaking of pollution that happened around that time when the weather was very hostile, lower temperature, no wind, western disturbance, and despite that, what you have seen that the peaking of pollution that happened around that time was lower than the peaking that had happened during the months of November and December when weather was much better. Now, this only is not that we have solved the problem, because we are at the super severe level. Even if you get a little bit of reduction or you avoid further worsening of it, that just shows how challenging pollution control in this city is. So that even that little bit of gain, which is just saying that holding on to the peak and just pull it down a little bit and not let it get worse, maintaining that and doing that throughout the year, and even to get a few percentage drop, that's what people need to understand how difficult that challenge is going to be. But make a link between congestion and pollution as well. In congestion, when vehicles remain stuck and idle, the pollution from the same vehicle is going to double. At the same time, the exposure from the public health perspective, what we breathe when we are on the road and close to the roadside, is actually several times higher than what you see in the ambient level. So if you're removing the tailpipes and the number of tailpipes which actually emit right on your face, it is a public health strategy that you require to reduce risk.
I'll come to you in a moment, Shivam. I just want to get Gopal Rai ji to respond to that. Gopal ji, the point is, it's still very, very severe. We all accept that it's very, very severe. And Shivam, like so many people who've been tweeting me non-stop on this for several days, have said that, look, why the propaganda? Why shift the goalpost, which was supposed to be air pollution? Why shift it to less congestion? Will you accept, sir, that reducing cars on the road is not really something which will bring down pollution that much? The bigger causes are road dust, that's the large amount, perhaps trucks of the roads, two-wheelers of the roads, construction activity. That is the focus. This may be a great success, but we are not hitting the right target.
देखिए, मुझे नहीं पता कि 1 तारीख से पहले से ही और आज भी कई लोग कन्फ्यूजन क्यों फैलाना चाहते हैं, सच्चाई को क्यों छुपाना चाहते हैं, मुझे उसके पीछे का मंशा नहीं पता। लेकिन ये बात सत्य है कि दिल्ली के अंदर या पूरे दुनिया में जो पोल्यूशन है उसमें 2 तरह के पर्टिकुलर मैटर हैं, PM10 और PM2.5। PM10 जो है वो डस्ट पोल्यूशन का मेजर रोल होता है और PM2.5 व्हीकल पोल्यूशन से होता है। अब ये बात कितनी मजाक की है कि दिल्ली में पहले 20 लाख गाड़ियां चलती थी, वो जितना PM2.5 पैदा करती थी, 10 लाख गाड़ियां भी सड़क पर चल रही हैं तो उतना ही PM2.5 पैदा कर रही हैं। इतना ही नहीं, जो गाड़ी 2 घंटे में अपने मंजिल तक पहुंचती थी आज वो 1 घंटे में पहुंच रही है। 1 घंटा पेट्रोल और डीजल जो जलाती थी वो कम हो गया, फिर भी PM2.5 उतना ही पैदा हो रहा है। तो ये तथ्यहीन और जो सच्चाई है उससे
क्योंकि शायद गाड़ियों से नहीं हो रहा है 2.5,
जहां तक गाड़ियों से ही होता है 2.5 और उसी वजह से वो रिड्यूस भी हो रहा है। मैं जो बात आपसे कहना चाहता हूं,
गोपाल जी 1 सेकंड, शाजिया कमेंट,
मैं जो आपसे बात कहना चाहता हूं,
गोपाल जी 1 सेकंड, शाजिया जी कुछ कहना चाहती है, 1 सेकंड, शाजिया जी बताइए।
हाँ, मैं ये कहना चाह रही थी कि बहुत ही अच्छा काम हुआ है। मुझे लगता है ये सोल्यूशन जो है ये एक छोटा सा हिस्सा है एक बहुत बड़े प्रॉब्लम का, और ऐसे कई स्टेप्स लेने पड़ेंगे। लेकिन इसने ट्रैफिक कंजेशन को ज़रूर कम किया है। जो एम्बिएंट पोल्यूशन का लेवल है वो बहुत ही कम हुआ है। अगर मैं अपनी गाड़ी नहीं ले जा रही हूँ और एक टैक्सी कर रही हूँ जो डीजल फ्यूम्स दे रही है तो फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। 90 लाख गाड़ियों में अगर सिर्फ 20 लाख 4 व्हीलर्स हैं, प्राइवेट कार्स हैं, और 60 लाख 2 व्हीलर्स हैं, और व्हीकुलर पोल्यूशन दूसरे हिस्से पर या तीसरे हिस्से पर है, और रोड डस्ट सबसे ज्यादा है, तो सोचने की बात है कि बहुत बड़े फैक्टर्स हैं जिन्हें पहले करना चाहिए। पर इसका मतलब नहीं है कि हम नकारे स्कीम को, लेकिन कम से कम जो रीजन है उसको टारगेट करें।
Just one moment, Shazia. I also want to go across.
Everybody is talking about wonderful roses, but compliance through challans was very, very important. I know people who actually feared paying 2,000 rupees.
Sure, but one way or the other it got done. Shazia, I'll come back to you in a moment, because I think it's also important to look at it from a health standpoint.
Yes, it did.
Dr. Ashok Seth, the chairman of the Fortis Escorts Heart Institute and a member of the Medical Council of India, is with us. You've been listening very, very patiently to everything over here. Yes. PM 2.5, PM10, do you believe that this will actually have some sort of impact? Doctors have been crying themselves hoarse.
Actually, it's very clear, and we must understand that this pollution, we keep talking about the fact that heart disease in this country has increased over the last 15-20 years. It's affecting young individuals, and we've never realized that actually it's not the lifestyle and the bad eating habits as much as it is the pollution, because pollution clearly, and all this microscopic particulate matter has actually been proven to cause heart attacks, to cause strokes, to cause arrhythmias, and to cause death. So we've been missing a huge point which the West has realized for years and years. I feel sad sometimes that we're criticizing the scheme and missing the point. Missing the point is that 15 days is nothing in this huge pollution that we're facing day after day and living in it. By the way, if you all realize that Delhi is the most polluted city, what that means is that everybody in this city is going to get severely affected. not just the susceptible people, not just the ones who got heart disease, not just the ones who got lung problems, that everyone living will get severely health affected. Now, what does that transfer? Actually, what the scheme has done is shown us a realization that all of us are believing in the same thing. And it's the people of Delhi who won, shown the fact that if the government is going to walk one step, we're going to walk 5. But the issue has to be multi-pronged. We just cannot say that the 15 days actually closed it all.
We'll talk about that.
शादी अभी खत्म नहीं हुई है.